Lobo fans. Welcome back inside the Lobo Lounge. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. Today we talk Lobo women's tennis with head coach Vicky Maes. Vicky, hello. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Robert?
You know what? I'm doing just fine, thanks. And I always start with are you getting through the shelter in place okay? Have you lost a little bit of your sanity? It's over 2 months now.
You know what? It's been a very interesting time for everyone. I think in the beginning we were sort of naive, thinking, okay, this is going to go, it's going to blow past. We're going to do all these things we can do from home, and then we'll be right back on the tennis court. And the reality of things is that it's just kind of dragging on. I think what's been incredible about UNM and Albuquerque in general is that people have responded extremely well. The communities come together, which I love about Albuquerque. And even though we can't be on the tennis court, we cannot interact with our athletes very much. I just think that we've set an incredible example in terms of what the things we can do and how we can support our communities. It's a great time to connect, even though we disconnected. And I've been really in love with how this city has responded.
So before we started, you told us where you are right now. We've had fun with that too in the Lobo Lounge because we had a football player just finished running the Sand Hills. He was sitting in his car and he was kind of breathing hard. And you're actually you're in one of the kids' rooms?
I'm in one of the kids' rooms. I mean, we have a nice size house, but it doesn't seem like we can get any privacy these days. And even, letting my son know that he can't come in his own room, he was just like, what are you talking about? But by now, with all these Zoom calls, he knows that that's sort of off limits. But like I told you, as soon as I say that, they're probably going to run in here and interrupt the interview. But I've got a 7-year-old son and a 4-year-old young daughter. He's just finished first grade yesterday. So it'd be interesting going into second. I'm sort of lucky that our kids are still so young. At the same time, they're old enough to understand what's going on. And this time has been very interesting for them as well.
A lot of family time. Have you guys been able to take advantage of that? That's been a pretty consistent thing across the board with administrators, student athletes, and coaches. The additional family time has been welcome.
Honestly, I didn't realize how much time with my family I missed until I started seeing regular days at home. I think my kids didn't realize that I was part of this family until I was spending a lot of time here too. And it's sort of funny, but at the same time, now if I do go out, which I do on occasion, still find the tennis court because it's a relatively safe thing to do. They're upset. They didn't care much before that I would be gone and spending 12-hour days at work or being on the road recruiting or with the team. That was their normal. And now, the fact that I'm home a lot, even the short amount of time, when I leave, they're upset. So how we're going to kind of phase back into what we want to call normality, I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how they respond. I think they miss school, but I think they've really enjoyed being together, sort of cooped up, but finding activities, being creative, and just having a lot of talks with the kids that even at that age, I find them extremely, impactful. And I have to appreciate this time at home. I'm really making the best of it. And having the one-on-one time with the kiddos has been a blessing, really.
Vicky Maes, the women's tennis coach at UNM, is with us. You were talking about communication. So how have you stayed in touch with your student athletes and coaches, and how are you keeping your unit cohesive?
Well, the school, UNM has done a great job responding and keeping our girls, our team, our coaches. I go to school, my assistant goes to school, engaged in that activity. So that has now, is over now. Certainly it's been difficult to get on Zoom calls just because we are in probably 8 different time zones altogether. I have 2 players in Taiwan. I have 1 in Japan. I have a couple of local players, Texas too, England. So, I mean, it is difficult. And for as much time you think you have all of a sudden, the day is full. I have kept myself busy with scheduling, which seems to change every single day as schools are pulling out or as we're trying to find more efficient ways to travel and obviously keep our budget down. But the girls, I do reach out to them one-on-one, because you can do so many Zoom calls, but everybody's gonna say everything's great, we're doing great, and that's fantastic and probably true. But it's also important to connect with them individually. We just got grades back. Our team has done fantastic, so I made sure to congratulate them and make them feel good about the things that they are accomplishing, that they can accomplish right now. Our season got cut short, which was very unfortunate, because we had a solid group. And we were losing 4-3 a lot, but we were right in every single match, ready to turn things around. Looking forward to Mountain West competition. That was going to be the first time we were going to play all the schools this year. So I was really, really looking forward to that. Obviously that didn't come to fruition. So what I love about our team is that they are always making the best of every situation. That's what we teach them. That's how tennis is. If you're not playing well, figure out a way to beat somebody anyway. That's our philosophy. And I think we are applying that, as we're separated but still together. I think, the fact that we didn't get to finish doesn't mean that when we do get together, we are not going to appreciate each other more. It's going to be a different team. Some people have left, some new people come in, so we kind of have to start over again. But at the same time, I think everybody is, no matter what situation they're in.
Well, we've got 1 minute left. Vicky Maes, the head coach of women's tennis at UNM, is with us. And I want to give the fans a little idea about your background. It's amazing. 17 years as a head coach at the University of Arizona, 8 NCAA appearances. You're an All-American 4 times over as a player, as a Wildcat, and Pac-10 Player of the Year, 4 times first team all Pac-10, and you were number 1 ranked in the nation twice in your playing career.
Right.
But the most interesting thing on your bio that I saw is you speak not only English, but Dutch and French.
Right.
Just give us a little idea of your background.
Well, I was born and raised in Belgium, and we're a teeny tiny country the size of Maryland. So we are influenced by all kinds of other cultures. So language is one of those. A lot of Europeans speak multiple languages. I was fortunate enough to speak both Dutch and French growing up, and then the English came later on. I'd argue right now that my English is way better than my Dutch and my French. My parents would concur. But yes, I mean, I came to the States when I was 20 years old. I was probably the last class where I could play professional or semi-professional tennis before going to college. So I turned 21 my freshman year. And so I had a little bit more maturity going behind me, but I also came from clay and had to transfer to hardcourt, which I'd never really competed on. So I had an incredible coach at U of A, Becky Bell, who's about to retire from U of A this year. Huge influence in my life, not just on my game, but life in general, and inspired me to become a coach. And yes, I was a Wildcat, but I'm a 100% Lobo right now, no doubt. I am so in love with UNM. I love the place. I love my team. I love our administration, great coworkers. So I've really landed in a fantastic situation. I couldn't be more appreciative.
Well, now inspiring Lobos. That's awesome. Vicky, thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Vicky Maes, head coach of Lobo Women's Tennis in the Lobo Lounge. That's it for today. So long, everybody, and go Lobos.